A young man, troubled by the chaos in his mind, sought out the wisdom of an old sage. "Master," he said, "I'm constantly distracted. My mind is always racing, filled with worries, plans, and thoughts I can't control. It's exhausting. Please, tell me how I can quiet my mind." The sage looked at the young man with kind eyes and said, "There is a simple way to calm the mind, but it requires patience. You must learn to focus on your breathing. If you practice this every day, your thoughts will eventually settle like dust after a storm." The young man frowned. "But Master, I've tried to focus on my breathing before, and it only makes my mind more chaotic. The more I try, the more restless I become. Isn't there a quicker way? Some magic word or technique?" The sage smiled softly and said, "If focusing on your breath doesn't appeal to you, I can give you a different method. But you must follow my instructions carefully." The young man eagerly nodded. "Very well," the sage said. "Find a quiet place and close your eyes. Then start repeating to yourself the word peace. But there's one condition. While doing so, make sure you don't think of a white elephant." The young man laughed in surprise. "A white elephant? Why would I think of that? I've never even seen one." The sage nodded. "Exactly. Just remember, don't let the image of a white elephant enter your mind." The young man hurried home, excited to try the sage's method. He sat down, closed his eyes, and began to repeat the word peace to himself. But as soon as he started, a white elephant appeared in his mind. At first, it was just a faint image, but the more he tried to push it away, the more vivid it became. The white elephant grew larger, filling his thoughts completely, until he could think of nothing else. Frustrated, the young man tried harder to focus on peace, but the white elephant seemed to multiply in his mind, appearing in different sizes and in various scenes. No matter what he did, he couldn't escape it. By the next morning, the young man was desperate. He ran back to the sage and said, "Master, I did as you said, but now my mind is filled with white elephants. I can't think of anything else. Please, tell me how to get rid of them." The sage gently took the young man's hand and said, "Come, sit with me." They both sat quietly under a large tree, the shade providing cool relief. "Now," the sage continued, "stop trying to focus on peace and don't worry about the white elephants. Just sit here, breathe naturally, and let your thoughts flow without trying to control them." The young man, feeling a bit foolish, followed the sage's advice. As he sat there, breathing gently, he noticed something remarkable. The more he let go, the less the white elephants bothered him. They began to fade away, and soon his mind was calm again. The sage spoke softly. "You see, young man, the mind is like a restless river. The more you try to force it to be still, the more it resists. But if you allow it to flow naturally, without interference, it will eventually find its own calm. Thoughts are like the white elephants, harmless by themselves, but when you try to force them away, they become stronger. The key is to observe your thoughts without getting attached to them." The young man nodded, finally understanding. "Thank you, Master. I see now that the more I try to control my mind, the more chaotic it becomes. But if I just let go and observe, peace will come on its own." The sage smiled and said, "Yes, and that is why true peace comes not from trying to control the mind, but from learning to watch it with patience and understanding. This is the essence of mindfulness. In meditation, you can learn to do this more effectively. Sometimes when you start meditating, your mind might seem even more chaotic. This is because meditation stirs up old buried thoughts, just like cleaning a dusty room makes the dust fly. But don't worry. Keep observing your thoughts without attachment and keep practicing meditation. Gradually, your mind will clear and you will find the peace you seek.